Hey, what is up, guys? I'm your boy Nick with Pick Me. Today we're going to be going over the full card breakdown for UFC Mexico City. This card's taking place in Mexico City, Mexico, so absolutely cannot wait for this fight night card. This is not a pay-per-view, by the way. We got some pretty decent matchups on this card. In the main one, we have Brandon Moreno taking on Brandon Royval, so we got two Brandons going head-to-head here in the main win. And then the co-main win, we have Rodríguez taking on Brian Ortega in the rematch. So we got two rematches on the main card. It's going to be absolutely fireworks. I cannot wait for it. I'm making this a little bit early than 298, so we're going to find out what happens at UFC 298. We're probably going to find out about the UFC 300 main event from Dana White. So absolutely cannot wait for this card, man. This card is taking place in a couple of weeks from here, like in 2 weeks. So it's going to be really good. It's going to be a really fun matchup here. Really good fight night card. I mean, let's get into it, guys. Starting the early prelims, we have Claudio Puelles taking on Ziam. And I'm going to be picking Ziam here. He's way more well-rounded fighter here. Claudio Puelles is a jiu-jitsu nerd. He's going to be hunting leg locks, submissions on the ground. I think Ziam, he should be able to keep this fight on the feet. Just pick apart Claudio Puelles on the feet and just out kickbox him on the feet. I could see Ziam hurting him bad. We have seen Claudio Puelles get knocked out before. He just had nothing. He had no success against Dan Hooker. But that was a pretty big step up in competition for Claudio Puelles, to be fair. He's taken on some good guys, good wrestlers before. He's taken on Clay Guida. He submitted Clay Guida in a grappling exchange. Clay Guida, we know Clay Guida goes out there, wrestles each and every time. Clay Guida has same game plan for every single fight. Then he submitted Chris Grichmacher with the knee bar, so he's going to be dangerous too. He's beat Jordan Levitt with the wrestling. I don't think his wrestling is really going to work on Ziam. Ziam's only loss in the UFC has been to Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney kind of got a rear naked choke and locked in a grappling exchange early on in like 2 minutes. So ever since then, he took on a really good fighter in Mikhail Figlak. He came in as underdog there, and he showed really good improvements there. His takedown defense is solid. Only gave up like one single takedown to Mikhail Figlak. And he hurt Figlak too. He dropped him. I think he dropped Figlak one time. And Figlak, even though he had some okay moments, he got Ziam's back at one point in the third round. But he was able to stay safe. He did not panic at all. So I think he took off enough time for that McKinney fight. And he showed a lot of improvements. So I'm going to trust Ziam to go out there. And I don't know if he's going to knock out Puelles. I'm going to go with the knockout for Ziam. He might be able to get his first knockout, because he's going to be hurting Claudio Puelles to the body with the body kicks. He's going to be landing those leg kicks over and over. We have seen Claudio Puelles when he doesn't have success in the grappling, when he can't get off a submission early, he kind of breaks down mentally a little bit. So I'm gonna go with the Ziam by TKO. I'm gonna say third round TKO for Ziam. I think we're probably gonna get a mercy stoppage by the referee there in this fight. So the first pick is gonna be for the first fight is gonna be Ziam by TKO, third round TKO for Ziam. Hey guys, next fight on the prelim is gonna be Cristian Quiñonez taking on Raoni Barcelos. Now, this is a big step up in competition for Cristian Quiñonez. Raoni Barcelos is 1-4 in his last 5 fights, but obviously he's been taking really tough matchups. I mean, took on Umar Nurmagomedov, got knocked out there in the first round. Umar Nurmagomedov showed him that knee right down the middle, hit him with the left hook. Then took on Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips, even though Raoni Barcelos had some success with the grappling exchanges there, got like 3 takedowns over Phillips, but Phillips' ground game is solid. He has a black belt. Kyler Phillips has a black belt on the ground. So he was able to hit some sweeps, get back up to his feet, and was able to stay safe on the ground. But then he took a Victor Henry, just landed like 200 significant strikes there. Took a Timur Valiev. Obviously, that was a tough loss for him. People are saying that was a robbery, but the judges scored it for Timur Valiev. But he took on Trevin Giles, so his only good win in the UFC in the last 5 fights is over Trevin Jones. But he's had some good matchups, good wins in the past too. Said Nurmagomedov beat up Said Nurmagomedov, Chris Gutierrez, so Kurt Holloway. So he's a solid fighter, man. I mean, he's getting older though. He's at the tail end of his career at this point, almost 37 years old. So I am gonna be picking Cristian Quiñonez here because of the age factor. Barcelos has taken a ton of damage in his career. He got dropped by Kyler Phillips in the first round too. I think Cristian Quiñonez is gonna have the speed advantage here, and he's the underdog coming in as almost 2-1 underdog in this fight. And he's taken some tough matchups outside the UFC too, man. He took on this guy, Vinicius Oliveira, who's in the UFC now. So he knocked him out. So this dude, Vinicius Oliveira, has a ton of power. I don't think that Ronnie Barcelos' hands are gonna be as fast as Quiñonez. But the only thing that worries me about Quiñonez is the fact that he can get out grappled, give up submissions on the ground. He has been submitted twice, but the last fight, I mean, he got submitted after he got cracked on the feet and got dropped. So he was kind of dazed in that fight. So if he stays technical, if he doesn't get over jealous like he did against Kongo Khan, I think that Cristian Quiñonez can definitely outstrike him over 3 rounds, win a close decision. But Barcelos, I'm likely not gonna be betting this fight because I don't really trust either one of these guys. I mean, Raoni Barcelos should win this fight based on the odds. He's over 2-1 for a good reason. And the level of competition difference is much like crazy between the two. But I'm gonna trust with the Mexican fighter here, Cristian Quiñonez, to get it done, get his hand raised, likely by 29-20 decision. Maybe just drop Barcelos a couple of times here and there, land big, have some big moments on the scorecards, and steal like a split decision. Maybe I'll look at split, maybe, but I'm likely not gonna be betting this fight. So I'm gonna take Cristian Quiñonez by 29-28 decision for this fight. Alright guys, next fight on the card is gonna be Mohamed Naimov taking on Erik Silva. And Erik Silva came into the UFC a little bit later in his career. He's 36 years old now, so I don't really trust Erik Silva at all. I do think Naimov is gonna win this fight. He's likely gonna finish Erik Silva inside the first 2 rounds. I think probably late second round. I got Naimov finishing Erik Silva. Erik Silva is a grappler. Mostly he out-grappled that kickboxer on Dana White Contender Series, and were Boynarov. I can't really say his name, but that's a tough name to pronounce. But he just kind of took him down and submitted him not submitted him, but he garnered pounded him right away. But Erik Silva is a dangerous. He's got some power in his hands too. He's got some pop, explosive takedowns, but I don't think he's got the cardio past the first round. So if he's gonna get the stun, he's gonna have to finish Naimov in the first round. We have seen Naimov get dropped before. He got cracked by Nathaniel Wood, when Nathaniel Wood is a way better kickboxer, way better striker than Erik Silva will ever be. And Naimov is going to get the stun, likely by TKO or submission. I think he'll get a ground and pound stoppage or something like that. Where Erik Silva was absolutely gassed out, puffing for air. So I got Mohamed Naimov, likely by ground and pound. Second on ground and pound for Mohamed Naimov here is my pick in this one. We're not going to spend too much time on this fight because Naimov is going to dominate this fight. He's over 2-1 in this fight for a good reason too. Guys, next fight on the prelim is going to be Luis Rodríguez taking on Denise Bondar. Now, I'm a Denise Bondar hater. I think Denise Bondar is an absolute fraud. I don't know how he ever made it to the UFC, to be honest with you guys. I think he's going to get exposed here. He's going to get knocked out. I'm pretty confident in Luis Rodríguez here. I would pick anyone against Denise Bondar in the UFC at this point. I think Denise Bondar doesn't really have much to offer. He got outstruck by Anthony Hernandez. He got knocked out. I mean, he got slammed to the ground, and like those elbows from Carlos Hernandez was absolutely nasty. But they called it a technical decision, because I think he hit him. Maybe it was a headbutt or something like that. So that's why. But he took a ton of damage. He's taken off enough time in between though. He was supposed to take on Felipe Bunes before Felipe Bunes fought Joshua Van. Joshua Van took that fight on short notice against Felipe Bunes. But I was picking Felipe Bunes, and I was betting on Felipe Bunes over Denise Bondar. And I was pretty confident in Felipe Bunes there. I think Felipe Bunes would have smoked him. And I think Luis Rodríguez is going to smoke him. I'm going to pick a knockout from Luis Rodríguez. Now, Luis Rodríguez is making his debut here. He's coming into this fight as a slight underdog, plus 100. So I do like Luis Rodríguez here. He's got better striking, more power on the feet, better durability. He's really tough, man. Never been finished for a good reason too. And he's 0-1 on Dana White Contender Series, but took a tough loss to Jerome Rivera, but he's way too young, only 21 years old back then. So I think he's ready to come back to the UFC now, and he's on a run. He's on like a 5 win streak since then. He's been fighting in Lux Fight League, so Lux is a solid promotion outside the UFC. It's not a bad promotion, so I am gonna take Rodríguez by TKO. Second on TKO from Luis Rodríguez. I don't think Denise Bondar is gonna have much to offer on the feet. I don't think his takedowns are gonna work. He got kind of manhandled by Malcolm Gordon before Malcolm Gordon broke his arm, and he was getting cracked on the feet too. Malcolm Gordon was cracking him on the feet, hurting him badly on the feet too. So I do think Rodríguez should be able to get this done. I think Luis Rodríguez is much better than Malcolm Gordon, Overall, has a better durability, better cardio, better gas tank. And this is going to be the guy that I'm going to be betting on for sure in this fight. Plus 100 for Luis Rodriguez. I'm going to take that all day. Let's go. Luis Rodriguez second on TKO is the pick. Guys, next fight on the prelim, we're going to be heading over to the flyweight division. We have Jesus Aguilar taking on Mateus Mendonça. Now, Mateus Mendonça, man, I don't know what happened in his last fight. I mean, he took on Nate Maness. My boy Nate Maness absolutely smoked him. And Mateus Mendonça was out there hunting leg locks. I mean, going for leg locks over and over. Got his face smashed into the canvas. So I don't really know what's going on with Mateus Mendonça. And he put up a good fight against Javid Basra, though. I mean, he had some good moments in that fight. Was defending majority of the takedowns from Javid Basra. But Javid Basra is a high fight IQ fighter. So no shame losing to Javid Basra. But the last fight was just leaves a bad taste in my mouth from Mateus Mendonça. And likely this fight's probably gonna go the distance. I don't think either one of these guys is gonna finish each other. Jesus Aguilar coming into this fight as a UFC underdog, I mean. So he knocked out Shannon Ross with in the first 10 seconds. So landed a nasty overhand right, absolutely buried Shannon Ross. But he's at a big reach disadvantage here. He's coming into this fight with a 62-inch reach with at 5'4". So there's a lot of this fight's probably gonna favor Mateus Mendonça. I'm gonna be picking Mateus Mendonça here, but I'm probably not gonna bet on this fight. We don't know too much about either two of these guys. We don't know too much about them. We still have a lot to learn from both these guys. I mean, Mateus Mendonça is only 25 years old, and he's training at a Chute Box Jogo Lima. But that last fight was a horrible look. And Nate Maness was fighting at bantamweight, to be fair. So Nate Maness is pretty big for the weight class. And Nate Maness is like 5'11" or something like that. Nate Maness has to be like 5'11", right? If I'm not wrong. Nate Maness is like 5'10", yeah, like almost 5'11". So Nate Maness is a big dude for the weight class at flyweight now, since he's moved down to flyweight. So I'm gonna pick Mateus Mendonça by decision. I think he can defend the majority of Jesus Aguilar's takedowns, land enough output out there. I mean, his cardio is a problem. Mateus Mendonça's cardio is a big problem. I don't really trust him at all. I'm not really going to be betting on him. He's coming into this fight as a minus 150, around minus 150. Jesus Aguilar coming into this fight as a plus 120. The odds are pretty close. But Mateus Mendonça should be able to get this done. Likely by decision. I think he can crack Jesus Aguilar a couple of times. But if he goes out there looking for leg locks, man, I could see him getting submitted by Jesus Aguilar. Because Jesus Aguilar has a really good jiu-jitsu game. But I'm gonna go with the Mateus Mendonça. I'm gonna give him one more chance. But I think he can bounce back here and get it done by likely by decision. I know Jesus Aguilar got submitted by Tatsuya Tara, but Tatsuya Tara is a really good prospect at flyweight. So I'm gonna go with Mateus Mendonça, likely by decision, 29-28. Guys, we have the second prospect training at a Chute Box Jogo Lima. Felipe dos Santos made his UFC debut against Manuel Cap. And gave Manuel Cap hell, man. I mean, he gave Manuel Cap some really tough fight. Now, lucky for Manuel Cap, he had a solid chin on his head, and did not get knocked out. But Felipe dos Santos, his boxing looked clean out there, man. I mean, his hands were super fast, and his cardio was on point. So I think this is a good bounce back spot for Felipe dos Santos. Now, Victor Altamirano, he throws a lot of volume out there. Doesn't have the best takedown defense. I think his takedown defense is going to be tested here by Felipe dos Santos. Can mix in some takedowns, but there's a 10-year age gap between these two guys. Felipe dos Santos is only 23 years old, still young, very young guy for the game, and I think he's going to show a ton of improvements. He took out 5 months out for that last fight. That was an absolute war. We still don't know too much about Felipe dos Santos, man. I mean, he really had a good performance out there in his debut. He took that fight on short notice too. I mean, Manuel Cap was supposed to go out there fight Kaikara France. Kaikara France pulled out of the fight due to an injury, so Felipe dos Santos took that fight as an opportunity to make it to the UFC. So I'm gonna go with the young gun here, Felipe dos Santos, by decision. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. Victor Altamirano is very tough, very durable. He got out-grappled by Tim Elliott. I think Felipe dos Santos can mix it in on the feet, crack him a couple of times. It's going to be the one landing with more power, more pop on his punches. So I do think Felipe dos Santos get this done. Likely by a decision. Victor Altamirano has shown pretty good toughness, pretty good chin. Has Victor Altamirano ever been knocked out? He's never been knocked out. Submitted in the second round, so he's only been submitted by Jurek Brooks outside the UFC. So I'm gonna say 30-27 for Felipe dos Santos. The odds are like kind of wide for this fight. I think the odds are kind of wide for this fight. Felipe dos Santos is coming into this fight as a sizable favorite, I think. Do we have the odds over here? I can't really see the odds. Am I missing something maybe? Okay, there we are. The Felipe dos Santos is coming in at 3-1. He opened up at -147. Yeah, I'm not gonna bet this fight. I'm not gonna bet Felipe dos Santos at 3-1. If I caught him at -148, I mean when the lines opened up on January 8th, maybe I could have bet him, but -285, way too wide for Felipe dos Santos, and yeah, I'm just gonna take a pass on this fight. Maybe the over 1.5 rounds. I think we're gonna go over 1.5 rounds in this fight. Over 2.5 rounds. I like the over 2.5 rounds in this one too, but the pick is Felipe dos Santos by decision 30-27. Absolute domination here. As we got the featured prelim headliner here, we got Edgar Cháirez taking on Daniel Lacerda. Now we're supposed to see this match a couple of times. I mean, we had this fight getting canceled like 2 times already. This is a rematch. They're running it back here. Edgar Cháirez and Lacerda already fought on that I think the Shevchenko versus which card was it? I think Shevchenko versus Grasso fight. It was a Grasso card, Shevchenko versus Grasso title fight. That was in Mexico. So they're bringing back Edgar Cháirez here in Mexico, and I am still gonna be picking Edgar Cháirez here. I had a bunch of money on him by submission last time, and that submission should have cast, man. Last time that submission he had Lacerda in a like nasty Armin guillotine choke, but it was a premature stoppage, I guess. I think it was the right stoppage, but the referee kind of called it a little bit too early. Maybe he should have just let Lacerda go out cold. But here we are, man. We're running it back now, so I still think the fight's gonna go the similar way. I don't think Lacerda has the cardio past the first round. If he's gonna get it done, he's gonna have to get it done in the first round. I don't think he's gonna get it done in the first round, so I'm gonna take Edgar Cháirez here. We already broke down this fight a bunch of times. Cháirez has better cardio, better durability, better chin, better submission defense. He's really tough, man. He's really tough. He's been subbed twice before, but that's tough matchups. Tatsuro Taira out-grappled him, but he gave Tatsuro Taira a tough fight though. And Jesus Aguilar was the one that submitted him in the 5th round. So this is a 3-round fight here, and he's been fighting legit guys outside the UFC too. So I'm gonna go with the Cháirez by submission. I'm gonna say he gets a 1st-round submission. I'll say 1st-round submission for Cháirez. But Lacerda is a different fighter in the 1st round, man. This dude is dangerous. He's got really good kickboxing skills, good power for flyweight. So Edgar Cháirez is gonna have to watch out in the first, minus P's and Q's in the 1st round. After the 1st round, I think it's gonna be all Edgar Cháirez doing whatever he wants to Lacerda, because Lacerda is one of the biggest gassers in the UFC history, and I think Cháirez gets this done likely by late 1st round submission or 2nd round submission. I'm gonna say 1st round submission for Cháirez here is the pick, and I like the under 1.5 a ton here too. What are the odds in this fight? Cháirez coming in at -355. Yeah, it's getting even wider. I mean, last time he was coming in as like a -250, close to -275, -300. Now he's even wider. Maybe look at the submission prop for Cháirez or under fight ends in round 1 or under 1.5 rounds. But I'm likely not gonna bet this fight anymore because I'm probably gonna parlay the under 1.5. I like the under 1.5 rounds in a parlay. I don't think this is gonna go past the 1st round. Both these guys are very explosive, and Lacerda just doesn't have the game plan and the cardio to go past the 1st round. So I like Cháirez by round 1 submission. That's the pick. Guys, we're gonna move over to the main card now for UFC Mexico in Mexico City. So make sure you guys hit the like down below, hit the sub down below if you guys appreciate these early breakdowns, and make sure you guys leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate all the support from you guys. We finally hit 1K, and I appreciate all the support from you guys, man. That's thanks to you guys. I'm doing what I love here. So let's go over here, guys. Let's go over to the main card now. So we got Daniel Zellhuber opening up the main card against Francisco Prado. Now Zellhuber is a good striker, really good jiu-jitsu. I mean, had a solid performance. He was my lock of the week against Cristian Giagos. But the 1st round was tricky, man. I mean, he got cracked in the 1st round. Showed really good toughness there. Showed really good heart there. So He's tough, man. He's really tough. I mean, he lost to Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden just kind of outstruck him. That was his UFC debut, so I think he has some jitters coming in against Trey Ogden in his UFC debut. He lost a 29-28 decision there against Trey Ogden, I mean. But Trey Ogden has that awkward style, so Trey Ogden can definitely do that to some guys. And we've seen Trey Ogden doing that to Nicholas Mota last time too. So Trey Ogden is a weird fighter. Some days he looks like a crazy top 10, top 15 guy, and some days he looks like a outside like a top 100. So losing to Trey Ogden in his UFC debut, no shame there. Then he submitted Cristian Giagos. He knocked down Cristian Giagos, hurt him badly. But Cristian Giagos is a known gasser, so you gotta take that into point too. So Cristian Giagos always gasses out after the first round. But Zellhuber showed that he can tough through some bad moments, and absolutely put it on Lando Venata. He absolutely beat up Lando Venata like 30-27. Even had a 10-8 round in one of those rounds. So, and beat up Lucas Almeida. So, Daniel Zellhuber, I think he's more experienced here. He's coming into this fight with more experience. Now, Francisco Prado made his UFC debut against Jamie Mullarkey. I think he took that Jamie Mullarkey fight on short notice too, and he just kind of got out grappled. Jamie Mullarkey has really good wrestling, really good. He's gonna be shooting non-stop takedowns, and then he knocked out Altamirano Jaitar. No, I've been 0-2 on picking Francisco Prado fights. I can't get this guy right. I picked him against Jamie Mullarkey as an underdog, and he goes out there, loses to Mullarkey, then goes out there. I picked Altamirano Jaitar by knockout, and this guy goes out there, knocks him out in the first round. So I've had a tough time picking the Francisco Prado fights, but he's only 21 years old, man. I mean, that's kind of shocked me that he's only 21, barely even 22 years old. He's gonna be 22 in like 4 months. Like, I'm shocked that he's only 21 years old. He's already in the UFC, so I think he's gonna be. I think Zellhuber is gonna be coming into this fight with more experience. But Francisco Prado has the power, man. He's got the. I don't know if he has. I don't think he has experience that Zellhuber has. Zellhuber is training out of Extreme Couture, so he's been training with some high-level guys over there. And I'm gonna pick Zellhuber by decision here, but the odds are probably way too wide. Zellhuber, probably a sizable favorite here. Zellhuber minus 270, opened up at minus 198. Yeah, maybe Zellhuber decision. I don't think he's finishing Francisco Prado, man. This dude has that Chad chin on him like the dude Dober, so I don't think he's gonna get finished here. I think Zellhuber is going to do enough on the feet, land enough volume out there, land those body kicks over and over, leg kicks. I mean, Zellhuber is a very good technical striker, so I'm going to pick him to win here, likely by decision. But the 3-1 odds are way too wide for Zellhuber. If you guys think that Francisco Prado has a chance, he's only 21 years old, so he's going to be making a ton of improvements too. And I think Francisco Prado is going to be a problem for some of these guys to deal with in the UFC. Once he really fills into that 145 frame, he fights out not 145. I mean 155 frame. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a really good matchup here, and really cannot wait for this matchup, man. It's gonna be a really good main card opener fight, and I got Zellhuber winning it on the scorecards, 30-27. I think 30-27 could be 29-28 too. I'm gonna look at the decision prop for Zellhuber. I know he finished Cristian Giagos by submission, but Cristian Giagos has no durability. Cristian Giagos has no cardio and bad fight IQ. So I think Francisco Prado is going to give him a tough fight. He might have some good moments in the first round. Francisco Prado might steal the first round because he's very powerful in the first round. But I think Zellhuber has experience coming into this fight, so he'll be able to stay in the fight and just pick up the volume later as the fight goes later. And win at 29-28 decision or 30-27. I'm gonna take scorecards for Zellhuber. He's gonna win at close decision. I think it's gonna be a close fight. I think the odds are way too wide for this fight though. I don't know if I'm gonna parlay Zellhuber. Maybe I'll think about it. But man, Francisco Prado has good power, so maybe Zellhuber I think is a good parlay piece. He should win this fight, but his chin is a little bit suspect. Doesn't really move his head off the center line. Prado can definitely crack him, so I'm just gonna look at the decision prop. If I get plus money on decision, I'm probably gonna put a unit on the decision prop. But I don't know, the parlay, like the line is way too wide. Like under minus 200 probably would have been a good parlay piece, but now it's like almost 3-1 is a little bit too wide for me. But I'm gonna look at the decision prop. Zellhuber likely over 1.5 rounds. I liked over 1.5 rounds to over 2.5 rounds. I'm picking a lot of these fights to go the distance. So, and I think a lot of these guys are very tough and durable. Zellhuber on the scorecards is the pick. Guys, next fight on the main card, we're going to be heading over to Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Ricky Turcios. It's going to be a really good matchup, man. It's going to be a fun matchup, a good test for Raul Rosas Jr. I have to pick Raul Rosas Jr. here. I think he's going to be more physically stronger. His cardio is going to be tested here because Ricky Turcios is not going to go anywhere. He's not going to get finished out there. I don't think he's going to get finished out there. He got knocked out by Martinez. But I think he's going to be able to stay in this fight, man. He's training out of Team Alpha Male. So I don't think Rosas Jr. is going to smoke him like he did against Terrence Mitchell. But Terrence Mitchell is an absolute fraud. Then he put up a good fight against Cristian Rodríguez, who's moved up to 145 now. Cristian Rodríguez is going to be fighting Isaac Dolgarian at 145. So, yeah, but he had some good moments in the fight. He won the first round, absolutely gassed out in the second and third round. He was trying to finish Cristian Rodríguez. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Ricky Turcios. And I'm going to pick him by decision here. I think Ricky Turcios is very tough, man. He's pretty safe on the ground too. I think he's only been knocked out one time by Martinez. Martinez is a solid fighter outside the UFC, so he was in the UFC at one point, so there's no shame losing to Martinez. But I think Raul Rosas Jr. is only 19 years old now, so he's still a very young guy for the game. He's gonna be more physically stronger. He's gonna get the takedowns. He's gonna win at 30-27. I think he's gonna out-grapple with Ricky Turcios. Ricky Turcios has good speed on his hands, good striking, okay striking. He won a split over Brady Easton, but the fights are way too close, man. He's taking all these guys to split. Got out-grappled by Ayman Jahabi, but Ayman Jahabi's got pretty good striking too, good power. Rosas Jr.'s hands did look pretty clean out there. I mean, he knocked out Terrence Mitchell on the feet. His hands were looking fast out there. He's got some pop on his hands too, so he's got some speed too. So I'm gonna pick Rosas Jr. here by decision 30-27. Rosas Jr. Probably a sizable favorite here. Rosas Jr. coming in at -265. He opened up at -305, so there has been some money coming in on Ricky Turcios, and I don't think Rosas Jr. should be this heavily favored. There's a lot of fights on this card that I think should be closer on the odds. But I do think that Rosas Jr. gets this done. I'm pretty confident in Rosas Jr. getting this done. He should be able to win at least two out of 3 rounds, I think. If he doesn't get that submission off in the first round or second round, he might even be able to get a submission off too. I mean, he's finished majority of his wins. But this is probably the best fighter that he's fighting other than Cristian Rodríguez. So the pick is Rosas Jr. by decision. That's the pick. Maybe a late submission too. I could see a late submission for Rosas Jr. too. Actually, I'm gonna go submission for Rosas Jr. Man. I think he might be able to lock something up. I could see him holding Ricky Turcios down. Ricky Turcios getting frustrated on the ground, having Rosas Jr. hanging on his back the whole time. Maybe Rosas Jr. can get a ground and pound off or something like that. So I could see like a late finish. I'm gonna go with Rosas Jr. by TKO ground and pound stoppage actually, because I think Ricky Turcios is probably gonna be defending submissions. He probably is gonna be preparing his submission defense for this fight. I think Rosas Jr. is gonna have to land some nasty ground and pound, and then find a finish, maybe a referee stoppage due to TKO. So I'm gonna go with TKO. Second round TKO from Rosas Jr. But I'm not gonna throw him in parlays, to be honest with you guys, because he's really still untested. Still has less than 10 fights, so he's still untested. So, but I think he's gonna get this done, likely by TKO ground and pound stoppage. Late second round is the pick. Guys, we got a really good matchup next. We got Manuel Torres taking on Cristian Duncan. And this is a tough fight to pick, man. I mean, Manuel Torres opened up as a 2-1 and has been bet down to -118 now, so basically pick him. And I am gonna lean with the underdog here, Cristian Duncan. I can't believe I just called him Cristian Leroy Duncan. That's crazy. But I think Cristian Duncan can mix in some takedowns here. He's very tough, man. He's been knocked out by Vyacheslav Borisov, but Vyacheslav Borisov has got some of the nastiest kickboxing skills out there. And Nicholas Mota had some good moments against Manuel Torres last time too, before he got knocked out with the elbow. It was one of the nastiest elbow knockouts I've ever seen in my life. So Manuel Torres is very dangerous. He's gonna be one of the most dangerous guys at 155. But I've this feeling that Christian Duncan is gonna be able to get this done. He's gonna be able to mix some takedowns. I think he's got better cardio than Manuel Torres. He's training at American Top Team too, so he's gonna be more than prepared for a guy like Manuel Torres with the reach and height and power of Manuel Torres. But I can't blame anyone picking Manuel Torres here. Most people are picking 80% people are picking Manuel Torres here, and I get it. He's really good. He can definitely go out there and knock out Christian Duncan. I keep calling Duncan, but Christian Duncan. But I just have this feeling that Chris Duncan can get this done. And I think he's gonna be able to mix in takedowns, steal round. I don't think he's gonna finish Manuel Torres. Manuel Torres is very tough and durable. I just think that Chris Duncan can steal 2 out of 3 rounds and win a decision. I don't think Manuel Torres is probably gonna be the one finishing this fight if we see a finish in this fight. So if you want to bet on Manuel Torres, probably a knockout. I would look at the knockout for Manuel Torres. But I think Duncan is more well-rounded fighter, better wrestling, training out of American Top Team, with better guys over there. So he's training with some good guys, and he's taken some tough fights too, man. He took on Roman Morales, Charlie Campbell. He knocked out Charlie Campbell. Like Charlie Campbell is also in the UFC now, so and absolutely dominated. Ass moves there in that fight. But this is gonna be a tough stylistic matchup for Chris Duncan. But if this fight is close, it's probably gonna go towards Manuel Torres. But I have a feeling that Chris Duncan can dominate this fight on the ground, hold him down, and just be one step ahead on the grappling exchanges. So I'm gonna go with the grappler here. And Chris Duncan has some good power on the feet too. He can definitely crack. We have seen Manuel Torres get knocked out twice before. He's been submitted twice before, so. Wasn't he knocked out? I honestly thought he was knocked out before, but it's just submission. He's been submitted twice. While Chris Duncan isn't really a submission grappler, but he should be able to win a decision here. I think with the grappling, win a 29-28. I think the first round he might get dropped. I could see Manuel Torres dropping him in the first round. Chris Duncan recovering and coming on strong in the second and third round. So I'm gonna go with Chris Duncan. I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna go with the underdog here, Christian Duncan. I'm gonna go with the Chris Duncan at plus 100. I think Chris Duncan is down to minus 102 now, so it's not even like you can still get plus money on him, plus 105, plus 100, plus 102. So I'm gonna go with the Chris Duncan here by decision. That's the pick for this fight. Decision 29-28 decision for Chris Duncan. And probably gonna bet decision, Chris Duncan decision here, maybe, or submission or decision. You can find a prop submission or decision for Chris Duncan. That's the pick, guys. As next fight on the card is gonna be Yazmin Harigui taking on Sam Hughes, and I'm gonna pick Yazmin Harigui here. She's gonna be more well-rounded on the feet, way better striker, lands way more volume than Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes is really tough, so I don't think she's gonna go anywhere. I don't think she's gonna get finished in this fight. Sam Hughes normally wins fights based on with the takedowns, with the grappling, able to survive the first round against girls that are finishers. But I don't think we're gonna see a finish from Harigui here. Harigui had some good wins. She got absolutely starched by Denise Gomes, but Denise Gomes has that power for women's MMA, so Denise Gomes can definitely go out there do that to some of these girls. But I think Harigui should be able to get this done as long as he defends the takedown of Sam Hughes. And I do see her defending takedowns of Sam Hughes. I'm going to go with the Yazmin Harigui by decision, 30-27. I think it's going to be an outclass here. I think she's going to outclass Sam Hughes here on the feet. I think it's not going to be a close fight on the feet at all. Sam Hughes, even though I respect her toughness, is very durable. I like the over 2.5 rounds in this one. I do like the over 2.5. I think Sam Hughes is going to get beat up on the feet, lose a decision here. So I'm going to go with the Harigui by decision. That's the pick. Harigui by decision, 30-27. And the odds are kind of wide for this fight. I'll say that much. The odds are just unbettable. Harigui's minus 470. He opened up at minus 340. I wouldn't even bet her at minus 345. I'm not going to bet Harigui here. Maybe over 2.5 rounds when the over 2.5 lines open up. I'll likely look at the over 2.5 rounds in this one because I don't think Sam Hughes is going to get finished out there. And I think Harigui's just going to outclass her by decision. 30-27 Hargui. Decision is the pick. Guys, co-main event time of the card. We have Yair Rodríguez taking on Brian Ortega. T-City's back finally. He's finally back, man. It's been so long since I've seen this guy fight in the octagon. Finally, he's making his return. And it's going to be a rematch between these two guys, man. Yair Rodríguez and Brian Ortega already fought in the past. It was a kind of a fluky arm injury from Ortega that had him lose the fight there. But this is a second rematch now, so it's going to be a good rematch here. We're going to find out who really is the real deal here. And I'm going to go with Yair Rodríguez, man, based on the activity alone. I mean, Ortega hasn't fought in 2 years now. And Yair has been in there against Volkanovski. I mean, he had some good moments in the first round. Got cracked in the second, third round, and got finished in the third round there with the ground and pound. But I think Yair is way more hungry than T-City Ortega. And I think Yair is going to be able to hurt him on the feet. I don't know if he's going to finish him, though. I'm picking a lot of decisions on this card. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see a lot of finishes on this card. I'm not too sure if he's gonna finish him. I mean, but I'm gonna pick Yair Rodríguez by submission. I think I could see a submission here from Yair Rodríguez. T-City's got some of the best jiu-jitsu out there, so maybe he doesn't get submitted here. But man, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough fight. Most people are picking knockout here. Could I see a submission? I could see a submission if Yair cracks him, lands an armbar or something. I mean, he had Brian Ortega an armbar when he broke his arm, so it's gonna be a good matchup here, man. I do think Yair Rodríguez is a solid play here. I think Yair is way more hungry than Brian Ortega, and he's been active. So based on activity alone, I'm taking Yair here. He's coming into this fight as a minus. Yair's coming in at minus 162. And I think he's a solid play here, moneyline. I would just moneyline it straight up, to be honest with you guys. I think he's gonna win this fight, and he's gonna be landing more volume on the feet. He's better striker on the feet. He throws way more kicks out there. Ortega obviously is a dangerous submission grappler in his own right too, but I think that him not being active is gonna give him a lot of ring rust coming into this fight. So I'm gonna go with Yair Rodríguez by submission or knockout. I could see a decision. I'm just gonna pick Yair Rodríguez by knockout. I think he can get a knockout too late, maybe a head kick or something. Yeah, I'm gonna go Yair Rodríguez by knockout here. That's the pick. Let's go to the main event now, guys. Main event time next now. Let's freaking go. Make sure you guys hit the like down below. I'll leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you guys hit the sub button, guys. We're trying to get to 1,500 subs now, so let's freaking go, guys. I appreciate all the support. Let's go over to the main card now. Main event now. Main event time now. Finally, let's get into it, guys. So we got Brandon Moreno taking on Brandon Royval. We have a war between these two Brandons. So let's see who comes on top here. Now, Brandon Moreno was supposed to fight Kai Kara France. No, he was supposed to take on Amir Albazi. I mean, not Kai Kara France. He was supposed to take on Amir Albazi on this card. But Amir Albazi had an injury, I think. I can't remember what type of injury Amir Albazi had. But Albazi had a neck injury. Okay, so I hope this dude Albazi is okay. Unfortunately, he had a neck injury. I hope his cover is fine. We see him back in the octagon. But Brandon Royval is coming into this fight on short notice. Took this fight like a couple of weeks back. And he's coming off the disappointing performance against Alessandro Pantoja. Alessandro Pantoja absolutely just wet blanketed his way to a dominant decision 50-45. Now Royval had some good moments in that fight, bro, but he's a guy that goes out there, finishes these guys, catches them in a submission or a knock, catches them with a head kick, knee to the body or knee to the dome. Now obviously Brandon Royval is dangerous. He can definitely knock out anyone on this planet if he catches them clean, other than Pantoja, because he caught Pantoja with the couple of knees right down to the dome. Pantoja just eats it. Pantoja has otherworldly toughness, man. And I think Brandon Moreno's toughness is just as solid as Alessandro Pantoja. I think Brandon Moreno is more skilled than Pantoja. Even though Pantoja won the fight, I mean, I think Brandon Royval is more skilled. I think he's going to be more physically stronger in this fight. I'm going to pick Brandon Moreno by decision. I don't think he's going to finish him, man. Brandon Royval is very tough, man. He's only been finished a handful of times. One of them was a shoulder injury, I think. One of them was an injury. against Brendan Moreno. That was the first fight they had. Ended up in a shoulder injury and to the ground and pound in the first round. So he was really tough, man. I think he was really. In the other one, the other time he got submitted was Alessandro Pentosa with the rear naked choke. Then he got grappled by Pentosa in the rematch. So I'm gonna go with the Brendan Moreno decision. I think it'll be like 49-46 decision for Moreno. Moreno's got a solid gas tank on him. He can definitely hurt Brendan Royval to a body, man. He landed that nasty body kick to Carcara France's liver. It was like an absolute nasty liver kick, and then he just put it on him with the ground and pound. So Moreno can definitely knock him out too. But I think Royval is very tough, man. He's not really a guy that you go out there finish real quickly, unless you catch him right on the chin. But if he catches him with like a liver kick, I could see Moreno knocking him out. But I do think that Moreno should be able to get this done. And I am going to parlay Brendan Moreno, man. I think he's going to get this done. The odds are kind of wide. I mean, odds of Brendan Moreno sitting at minus 250. It is a little bit wide. I mean, 250 and minus 250. So I think it's a solid parlay piece. It's never been finished for a good reason. And that fight against Figueiredo, man. I mean, that fight was a crazy performance against Figgy. Absolutely put it on Figgy right from the start. And Figgy's moved up to 135 now, so Figgy's a solid bantamweight now. So if he can do that to Figgy, man, I think he's gonna dominate Royval. I think he's just gonna absolutely outclass Royval on the feet. Royval might have some good moments, might land like a flying knee head kick, but I think Moreno just gonna eat it. Moreno has really good durability, never been finished for a good reason. Only his last 7 decisions, his last 4 decisions in the UFC. So. And this is a stylistic matchup that favors Brendan Moreno. So I'm going to pick Brendan Moreno by decision. I think he might be able to finish Royval later on too. But if you're going to play anything on this fight, I would just parlay Brendan Moreno. I think even at minus 250, he's the one coming into this fight with the full camp behind him. And he's a former champion, man. He's been in so many 5-round fights. I mean, he's got so much championship experience. So I'm going to go with the favorite here, Brendan Moreno. By decision 49-46, but I could definitely see like a late finish. But I think I'm gonna trust in Royval's durability. He's very durable and very tough. Really good cardio on Royval too. So I think this is gonna go the distance. So I like Moreno by decision, but I'm gonna parlay the money line. That's the pick. I hope you guys enjoy the full card breakdown, guys. I'm gonna end the video now. So these are the early picks, man. I might drop a final picks video soon enough after the UFC 298. So we do almost daily live. I go live throughout a lot of time throughout the week. So make sure you guys come hang out with me in the live streams, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Make sure you guys don't forget to hit the like down below. Leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're trying to make our way to 1,500 subscribers now, so we're on the way to 1,500. That's freaking good, guys. I appreciate the support from all you guys. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.